read them. And because it's Pride Month, I want to spotlight some queer stories so that everybody can feel represented and seen, especially during this fun time. I love Pride Month. Now, I don't know, except for the ones that I have read already. I have a couple that I want to give you that I already have read, but for all of these recommendations, I don't know the intensity of the queerness in the story. Some of them could be underlying queerness, and some could be just in your face gay. So I don't know the specifics of the levels of queerness. So if you're looking for something super duper queer, maybe double check if it is before you pick it up, because it might not be. But I think all of these ones are. Once again, I haven't read them, so I'm not sure, but they are on my TBR. So I want to start with some books that I have in my collection. The first one is Big Swiss by Jen Beagin. I talk about this book a lot. I loved this book. I think I gave it a 5. I gave it a 4.5 actually. But I love this book. It's about Greta, who is a sex therapist transcriber in a small town. So she's new to this town. She's taking this job as a sex therapist transcriber, and she has code words for all of the people who she transcribes because the sex therapist doesn't want her to have everybody's names, obviously, because it's a HIPAA violation. So she has this one lady who she transcribes her sessions, and her name is Big Swiss because she's tall and she's Swiss. And this follows Greta becoming obsessed with Big Swiss pretty much, and then one day she sees her out and about, and she talks to her, and as she's talking she's realizing, oh my god, this is Big Swiss. And then we follow it from there. It's pretty fun. It's a lesbian, kind of a, not really a romance, but it's a lesbian literary fiction. So yes, I think, never mind, I don't want to say too much, I don't want to give it away. But yes, that one is very fun. I totally recommend this one. It's a comedy. It's just so good. I love it. The next one is, everybody knows this book, I think. I also it could just be because I was on Timothy Chalamet on Twitter for the entirety of the pandemic. But the next book I'm recommending, or just, yeah, I guess it's a recommendation, is Going By Your Name by Aciman. This is not really a literary fiction. It's kind of just like a fiction gay romance between Oliver and Elio. And I know it's controversial. There is a very big age gap here. But Oliver comes to Elio's family house for the summer in Italy, and he studies under his father. I think they're art. Yeah. I think they're art people. They're doing art history, I think. And then they fall in love. And it's like a summer fling, and it's so summery, and I actually want to read this. This is on my summer TBR. It would be on my June TBR, but I want to read it on a beach. So I have to wait till I go to a beach to read this. Yeah, so that's this one. I loved it. It was my senior quote. It was I loved this book. I did my senior thesis in high school. My thesis, basically a glorified book report on this. And I don't know, I just love this book. It also, probably because I loved the adaptation of the movie. I haven't read this since I was 17 years old. I'm 21 now, so it could be horrible. But I really want to read this one, so. That's Going By Your Name. The next one is Perfume and Pain by Anna Dorn. I actually just finished this book. Loved it. I'm not going to give away my rating because it's not my wrap up yet, but this follows a lesbian writer named Astrid. Not me forgetting the main character's name. Her name is Astrid. It's kind of not first person, but it's about her, so she doesn't really say her name much. That's why I forgot her name. I hope. But basically, she's recently canceled, and she has this book club that book female writer workshop Zoom thing that she set up during the pandemic that she left when she got all her critical acclaim, and now she's been canceled and she has no choice but to go back to the Sapphic Scribes, which is what they're called, and it follows her and the romance between this other girl in the club, and then she has a neighbor that she likes a little bit, and then there's like, basically it's just a literary fiction, so it's just her life, but it's really fun and it's really funny, and she's getting her book adapted into a TV show, and it's a whole bunch of fun vibes. So I really, really loved this book. It's funny, it has good references. Yeah, it just made me feel very seen. I enjoyed this one a lot. But I love this cover also. It's actually the last book I read. Then I have like a lot of books, that's why I'm going so fast. We have Into the Drowning Deep by Mira. Apparently our main character in this is bisexual. I googled everything before I did this video because I didn't want to give you like non-LGBTQ plus recommendations in my LGBTQ plus recommendations video. So I googled what specific aspects were queer, and so I'm gonna tell you guys. So I think that she's bisexual, the main character, and there's a female-female relationship going on. But I didn't know that when I first picked this up. I was going through my books and I was like, wait, like I googled it and it was. Let me read you the back. 7 years ago, the Atargates, I don't know. 7 years ago, that word set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have even called it a hoax. Others have called it a tragedy. Now a new crew has been assembled. Some seek to validate their life's work. Some seek the greatest hunt of all. Some seek the truth. But for ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. I think it's like a horror. Not my sweaty hands on this. It's like, I think, a horror book, and I'm really excited. I was gonna pick it up next, but the margins are really small, and that discourages me. Like, see what I mean? I'm into it, but it's just kind of thick. It's only 375 pages. Well, that's a lot, actually. It's 431, and it's very small text, so I'm like, okay, I'm scared. Maybe I'll read it on my iPad. Speaking of iPads, we have Trusty Dusty iPad here. Also, a sidebar, random as hell. I had to get this iPad for school. I was a fashion design major, and then I switched my major. So now I just have this iPad, and it comes in so much clutch for my videos. I also just love having an iPad, and I can just read on it. It's just so nice. Now, if you want to read any of these books, but you can't afford to get the physical copy or the audiobook, or not the audiobook, or the digital copy, don't tell anybody I'm saying this, but Anna's Archive is the place to go. That's what I do when I want to read a book and I don't want to buy it. I go to Anna's Archive, download it, see if I like it in the digital form, and then go buy it in the physical form. But I never told you that because that's literally pirating, so I never said any of that. Allegedly, Anna's Archive is good for that. But back to the books. Okay, I screenshotted these, so they might be weird. I gotta have to figure out what the order is. LOL. Okay. So first book we have this picture. I got my IUD at the New Rochelle Challenger presented by Phil's Tire Town. See, it's just a mess in my photos. Okay. The first book that I'm recommending off of my iPad that I don't have in physical form is One Last Stop by Casey Mcquinton. This is a rom-com about two lesbians, and it's kind of a fantasy rom-com, I think. Let me read you what it's about. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right, that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. and there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being any more than just a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane, dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's day when she needs it most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers there's a big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help her. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all. Like, does that not just sound so fun? Like, I'm obsessed with that. I love romances that are like not just romance. Like, give me a little something special. Love it. So that is One Last Stop by Casey Mcquinton. Okay, next book is House by P.J. Vernon. This is a gay book. It's a male-male relationship, and this is, I guess I keep saying like I'm gonna know what it's about, but I don't, so I have to read it to you. But I'm not a transition from saying what I know to like not knowing anything. Okay, this is what it's about. Oliver Park is a young recovering addict from Indiana. Oliver Park, a young recovering addict from Indiana, finally has everything he ever wanted: sobriety and a loving, wealthy partner in Nathan, a prominent DC trauma surgeon. Despite their difference in age and disparate backgrounds, they've made a perfect life together. With everything to lose, Oliver shouldn't be visiting Haus, a gay bathhouse, but through the entrance he goes, and a line is crossed. Inside, he follows a man to a private room, and that's the final line. Whatever happens next, Nathan can never know, but then everything goes wrong, terribly wrong, and Oliver barely escapes with his life. He races home in full-blown terror as the hand-shaped bruise grows dark on his neck. The truth will destroy Nathan and everything they have together, so Oliver does the thing he used to do so well. He lies. Like, yeah, this is exciting. It's a thriller. And the cover is so cool. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm gonna put them all up on the screen, but I just love the cover of this one. I think I also, actually, never mind, I don't know. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Okay. The next book is Exhibit by R.O. Kwan. If you guys have read any of these books, let me know if they're good, because obviously I don't know if they're good, except for the ones that I read. So, the first three are the ones that I read, then I haven't read Into the Drowning Deep. But, if you read any of these books, or you have any opinions on them, or if you've heard anything about them, let me know in the comments, because I want to know if they're good, because I don't want to waste my money on them if they're bad. My cat is crying. Anyway, okay. This is Exhibit by R.O. Kwan. At a lavish party in the hills outside of San Francisco, Jin Han meets Ladija Chung, and nothing will ever be the same for either woman. A brilliant young photographer, Jin is at a crossroads in her work, in her marriage to her college love Philip, and in who she is and who she wants to be. Ladija is an alluring, injured world-class ballerina on hiatus from her ballet company under mysterious circumstances. Drawn to each other by their intense artistic drives, the two women talk all night. Cracked open, Jin finds herself telling Ladija about an old familial curse, breaking a lifelong promise. She's been told that if she doesn't keep the curse a secret, she risks losing everything. Death and ruin could lie ahead. As Jin and Ladija become more entangled, they realize they share a lot more than the ferocity of their ambition and begin to explore hidden desires. Something is ignited in Jin. Her art, her body, and her sense of self are irrevocably changed. Okay, Twilight word. But can she avoid the specter of the curse? Vital, bold, powerful, and deeply moving, Exhibit asks, how brightly can you burn before you light your life on fire? So this one seems really fun, too. This is, I don't know if it's a thriller, or just like fiction, or just like speculative fiction, or just like fantasy, or just like, no idea. But I know that it's gay, so that's Exhibit. I don't know, this one is one of the ones where I don't know how turned up the queer because it is, I think in the, like, I'm getting it from the description, these two girls, like, you know, start experimenting with each other, but I don't know if it is in your face or, like, repressed feelings, inner monologue, queer. You know what I mean? Let's Exhibit by R.O Kwan. I really, really, really want to read that one. Really, really bad. There's just so many books and not enough time. You know what? That's just how it is. It's really sad. Okay, the next book I have is Greta and Valdin by Rebecca K. Riley. I feel like everybody's heard of this book. This follows a bisexual sister, I think, and a gay brother on a... I'll just read you the thing, truly, because I don't... I can't remember every single book's thing. Okay. I'm trying to find where it starts. It's been a year since his ex-boyfriend dumped him and moved from Auckland to Buenos Aires, and Valdin is doing fine. He has a good flat with his sister Greta, a good career where his colleagues only occasionally remind him that he's the sole Maori person in the office, and a good friend who he only sleeps with when he's sad. That's so real. But when work sends him to Argentina and he's thrown back in his former lover's orbit, Valdin is forced to confront the feelings he's been trying to ignore and the future he wants. Greta is not letting her painfully unrequited crush, or her possibly pointless master's thesis, or her pathetic academic salary get her down. She would love to focus on the charming fellow grad student she meets at a party and her friendships with a circle of similarly floundering 20-somethings, but her chaotic family life won't stop her mother is keeping secrets. But her chaotic family life won't stop her mother is keeping secrets. Won't stop. There's probably supposed to be a period there. Sorry, guys. When there's bad grammar, I kind of get lost. Her mother is keeping secrets. Her nephew is having a gay crisis. Her brother has suddenly flown to South America without a word. Sharp lyrics with undeniable emotion, momentum that builds, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's what that one's about. Two siblings figuring out their identities. And serving gun. They're also multiracial. So, more representation. The next book we have is a fun one. I did not know that this one was sapphic. It's Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. It's a fantasy book. So this is a fun little genre change for this video. Okay. The Emperor needs necromancers. What does necromancer mean? Anybody wanna tell me? I've always been curious. The ninth necromancer needs a swordsman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead bullshit. Brought up by unfriendly, ossifying nuns, ancient retainers, and countless skeletons, Gideon is ready to abandon a life of servitude. In an afterlife, as a reanimated corpse, she packs up her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines and prepares to launch her daring escape. But her childhood nemesis won't set her free without a service. Harrow Harkonnen, please. Harrow Harkonnen Agesimsis. Harrow Harkonnen Nonagesimsis. Nonagesimsis. This crazy name, Nonageesimus. Nonagemismus. That sounds like bacterial vaginosis. Okay, sorry. Reverend daughter of the ninth house and bone witch extraordinaire has been summoned into action. The emperor has invited the heirs to each of his loyal houses to a deadly trial of wits and skill. If Harrow Hark succeeds, she will become an immortal, all-powerful servant of the resurrection. But no necromancer can ascend without their cavalier. Without Gideon's sword, Harrow will fail and ninth house will die. Of course, some things are better left dead. I'm into that. For some reason, I read Gideon the Ninth, thought it was about a man, and I was like, I don't want to read about a man. Why would a man be there? I was like, I don't want to read about a man. But through my research, I figured it was about a girl, and I'm like, okay, I might be into it. And then, I have this book too. I don't know why I didn't grab it, but The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. Maybe I didn't bring it home. I don't know. But I love The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I think I gave it 5 stars, or like a 4.5 also gets invited, and she's like, oh my gosh, I hate this for us. There's only like 5 girls that are invited. And it's a horror book, and it's really fun, and it's really good. I really like it. They have to, at the writing retreat, they have to compose an entire novel from scratch, and whoever produces the best novel, according to Rosa, the writer whose house they're staying at, they get a 7-figure publishing deal. So, and then women begin to die. So it's like, oh, so it's a horror book, a thriller book. It's really fun. I gave it, I gave it 4.89. And yeah, I thought it was really fun. It was really vivid. It's kind of set in this like gothic mansion in the winter, and there's like a ghost story that's like circulating. It's like, is it real? Is it fake? I don't know, but it's good. This is another one of those books that's kind of like background queerness. She's kind of in denial that she's queer the whole time, but it is still a queer romance. Not romance, a queer novel, because there's some romance going on, and then it's just like, I can't say too much, it'll give it away, but it is a queer book, but it's not like in your face queer. It's kind of like background queer. But okay, the next book I have is The Girls by Emma Cline. And this one seems fun. It's set in the 70s, and it's about like a cult, so I'm like into it. Let me read you the thing. Northern California during the violent end of the 1960s. At the start of summer, a lonely and thoughtful teenager, Evie Boyd, sees a group of girls in the park and is immediately caught by their freedom, their careless dress, their dangerous aura of abandon. Soon, Evie is enthralled to Suzanne, a mesmerizing older girl, and is drawn into the circle of a soon-to-be infamous cult and the man who is its charismatic leader. Hidden in the hills, their sprawling ranch is eerie and rundown, but to Evie, it is exotic, thrilling, charged, in a place where she feels desperate to be accepted. As she spends more time away from her mother in the rhymes of her daily life, and as her obsession with Suzanne intensifies, Evie does not realize she's coming closer and closer to unthinkable violence, and to that moment in a girl's life where everything can go horribly wrong. I haven't read any Emma Cline, but I've seen this book a lot. I feel like it's not my first time I've ever seen this book. So yeah, I really want to read it. It's culty. It's coming of age. I don't really know. I only know this, so I can only tell you so much, but it sounds really good. And then we have a non-fiction book. It's kind of a collection of stories about queer people and their relationship to horror movies. It's called It Came From the Closet, Queer Reflections on Horror by Valleese. He's the editor. I will just read you the thing because I don't really know how to explain it. Through the lens of horror, from Halloween to Hereditary, queer and trans writers consider the films that deepened, amplified, and illuminated their own experiences. Horror movies hold a complicated space in the hearts of the queer community. Historically misogynist and often homo and transphobic, the genre has also been inadvertently feminist and open to subversive readings. Common tropes such as the circumspect and resilient final girl, body possession, costume villains, secret identities, and things that lurk in the closet spark moments of eerie familiarity and effective connection. Still, viewers often remain tasked with reading themselves into beloved films, seeking out characters and set pieces that speak to, mirror, and parallel the unique ways queerness encounters the world. It Came From the Closet features 25 original essays by writers speaking to this relationship through connections both empowering and oppressive, from Carmen Maria Machado on Jennifer's Body, Jude Ellison S. Doyle on In My Skin, Addie Sy on Dead Ringers, and many more. These conversations convey the rich reciprocity between queerness and horror. This book, I love movies. I love horror movies, and I love a final girl moment. I love a queer undertone or a queer overtone in a movie. I just love it. So I I saw this when I was in Chicago with my sister, and I was like, gotta add to the TBR. I read a little bit in the store, but it's a really cool cover, and it's just really fun, and yeah, so I really want to read this one, and I hope it slays, because I want to read it. It's not one that I'd probably like sit down and just like read the whole thing. I'd probably read like one thing a day, like before bed or something, but maybe I should do that. Oh my gosh, wait. I should start reading one of the stories a day before bed for June. Guys, you guys are so smart. Oh my god. That was crazy. And that's it. That's all the books that I have for you guys today. So I hope that you found something that sounds interesting, or that you might want to tap into. Another queer book is, well, you guys are gonna hate me, but the Mortal Instruments series is a queer character, and I think that they have a spin-off series about them. There are so many series in the Mortal Instruments series. So I guess the world of Mortal Instruments, I think I stopped reading before these were published, and I just didn't like get back into the world pretty much. So there's like Scrolls of Magic, I think is what it's called. That's my guess. Just look up Magnus and, oh, what's his name? Is it Adam? Aiden? Look up Magnus Bane, Mortal Instruments, and that'll get you where you need to be, I think. Oh, Alec and Magnus. Okay, so that's another random recommendation. But thank you guys so much for watching. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, and that's really exciting for me. I never ever thought that I would get to 900 subscribers, let alone, I didn't think I'd get to 100 subscribers, let alone 900. I mean, this goes to 1,000, so thank you guys so much. Like and subscribe and follow me on my socials if you'd like. They're all linked below, and I'll also put the names of all the books below also. Maybe I'll do